Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Let's give me a second. Give me one more moment. So we're gonna do a bit of a short show. I'll probably do a little show later today. I'm still recovering. I feel a lot better today, though. I feel actually way better than I did yesterday. Actually, I've just still been very emotional. Like I said, when I have time to think about my life, I try not to overwork myself because I don't want to regret anything about my life. I want to be around the people I care about the most. And, it matters to me. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. We're going to react to a few things. Do what we normally do on this channel. Give me just a few more moments, though. Just being a little slow today. So, appreciate everybody's patience with me. It just feels good to be back, though, overall. There we go. Just getting a couple things squared away, a couple things set up, and getting Stream Chat Ninja thing up, and feeling good. I'm just, like I said, I'm thankful, man. I've been really thinking about my life, and I've definitely been blessed more than I deserve, so I try not to take it for granted. Give me a moment. But yeah, no, the stock market is crashing a bit today. Kind of wild. Does it surprise me? Not really. As far as I remember, most markets don't react to war very positively, at least in my knowledge of history. There may be exceptions to that rule, but I'm assuming that there ends up being panic in most markets whenever there's something major like a war in Iran or that sort of thing. I just want to decide what's going on, dude. But yeah, I think any sort of war centered around oil, and this may be a bit of an exception as far as the wars go. Look, I'm not a fan of war. I don't think war is necessarily a good thing. I think it's a net negative to society, not a net positive. I would prefer to see most disputes settled through some form of diplomacy, But I'm still feeling a little shitty. But unfortunately, my desire to see a certain type of world maybe just doesn't, I guess, jive with everybody else's. But what's up, Jay? How you doing, bro? It's got Jay, and it's good to see you guys. But it's good to see so many people subscribing, and thank you guys for tapping the subscribe button. We just got 3 new subscribers. We're currently at 8,547 subs, and The more subscribers we get, the better. It really does help the channel grow. So just the simple act of even tapping the like button or subscribing, man, it really helps a lot, more than you guys know. So thank you guys. Okay, let's react to a few things, I guess. Let's while we're here, we're gonna react to a couple things and see what up. Tap it with your tip. But it is good to see everybody. It's good to talk to everybody. Let's see. Let's look at stock market news. Let's see. Oh, you missed out on my basketball stream? Sorry about that, brother. I mean, you could always look at the archives. If you want, you could always look at my archives of videos and stuff. And interesting. Let's take a look at this guy.
In today's video, I want to help.
Clear value tax. This guy right here. Oh, God. I'll like the video since I'm reacting to it. But let's see what clear value tax has to say. Let's get educated on this, and let's see what clear value.
You understand the financial and stock market situation regarding Iran, and today's video is not going to be political whatsoever. We're just focusing on the financial aspects. So at the time of making this video,
I don't know when I'm going to do my next basketball live stream. They're always kind of spontaneous. I never really plan them out. To be honest, they're kind of just spontaneous. I just do them whenever. Yeah, you guys don't forget to tap the like button, though. The more likes we get, the better.
The S&P 500 is flat. So as you probably saw, it opened up lower. It turned positive. Right now, it's up 0.08%. So it's basically no reaction, or you could say it's a muted reaction. Now, I want to warn you about this. So this is a 5-year chart of the S&P 500. So it's my belief that in the long run, yes, the stock market's going to continue to go up, especially with President Trump's new Fed chair coming into power in 2.5 months. Now,
oh, shit. Let's take a look at this. This might be major news. Right now is it's a Fox Business one. Let's take a look at this. This might be really important, so we'll react.
Arkansas Congressman, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Rick Crawford. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We so appreciate it.
Thank you.
And what can you tell us in terms of where we are here? You were obviously part of the Gang of Eight briefing yesterday without giving any secrets out. What can you tell us about next steps and where this is going, sir?
Well, so yesterday was a Gang of Eight.
This is interesting, man.
Expanded to include some other members of key committees, to include Armed Services, Foreign Affairs, and Appropriations. And so there were some questions that they got to ask that were sort of in their.
So China announces support for Iran. Oil prices surge. This is kind of a wild one. So China supporting Iran in this one is I mean, we'll see how this plays out. But this is wild. Freaking wild. I mean, of course China would support Iran because, I mean, first off, I will say this. The Iranian government was executing its own people, just as a heads up. But then again, China's no stranger to that. So, we're executing anybody. Allegedly. Not a fan of China or Iran, just as a heads up. But
jurisdiction as well. So it wasn't just a Gang of Eight. It was expanded, ended up being about a gang of 16 to 20 or so, but it was a limited group of members, and the full House will be briefed today. What I want people to understand is that those individuals that briefed us yesterday, obviously Secretary Rubio, Secretary Hegseth, Director Ratcliffe, and Chairman Raisin Kane, did a fantastic job in laying out the conditions on the ground as they are right now, what has taken place to get to that point, and what their objectives are going forward. And so there's no mystery to me, and the rest of the House will find out today just where we are in greater detail. But I just find it curious that every time this president does something, it doesn't matter what it is, the Democrats come and object. I mean, they object to this action. It's just unconscionable that he would do such a thing. But almost all of them, if not all of them, voted for the exact same thing in 2011 when President Obama struck Libya. So, I mean, it's a selective application of moral outrage, and I find that just really unhelpful.
I mean, U.S. officials have confirmed that 6 American service members have given their lives following Iran's retaliation for this operation. Is it your sense that this does go on another 4 to 5 weeks?
Well, that's what I think they are saying, but look at what they expected, probably a 4 to 5 week engagement just to take out their leadership, and that happened in the first 48 hours. And so they're making really magnificent progress on.
I mean, it's wild what we've been able to do in Iran in such a quick amount of time. You know, I don't think we need to participate in regime change. In this instance, I think we should let Iran, well, at least sort this out themselves, at least have the people, you know, try to somehow find a way to sort this out. But it doesn't surprise me, though, that China would be, I don't know, China's just very frustrating. I'll say that. China is very frustrating.
On everything, every one of their objectives that they're trying to achieve with regard to hunting down the ballistic missile capability in the southern portion of the country, those short-range ballistic missiles, looking for their production facilities, looking for their munition stockpiles, all those kinds of things, degrading their Navy. Heck, I think most of their Navy, if not all of it, is at the bottom of the ocean. So they've made remarkable progress in a short span of time, and that's largely attributable to the leadership.
I mean, look, the Dow is down quite a bit. Damn, dude, damn. See, that's why I would. You see, here's the thing. I would never the Middle East, man. I don't know why anybody would take a vacation to the Middle East. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's a region that's constantly unstable. Yeah, it's wild, man.
That we've seen over at the Pentagon.
And Mr. Chairman, I know that we've been talking about really I've been talking about two paths. You've got the War Powers Resolution, but then you've also got a potential supplemental spending package. So I want to get your take on that, because I know that the Senate is set to vote on this War Powers Resolution today, which would restrict President Trump's authority over military use without congressional approval. The House is going to vote on their version on Thursday. Before we talk about that and your sense of where this goes today, given the Democrats keep digging in on it, let me get your take on the weaponry that we are using.
I got to admit, I don't know all the details on how much you can restrict a president through the Congress. I'll admit I'm a little bit oblivious to that. I'm not much of an expert, but I'm curious to see how this hinders President Trump on that one.
And the stockpiles that we have, because
I will say that war never feels good. It's very rare that war ever feels good. I think war leaves a pit in everybody's stomach. But anyway, let's keep going.
Many of our very, very important assets are now in the field, in the region. What are you thinking about in terms of replenishing that stockpile, in terms of ensuring that the United States has the wherewithal to produce the weapons that we need in a timely manner?
think what we're seeing is a change in sort of culture, if you will, in the weaponry that we use, and recognizing that these really high-end precision missiles like a Tomahawk, for example, cost millions, whereas a one-way attack drone maybe costs tens of thousands. So you can see the value proposition that they bring to the table here by using those drones as opposed to Tomahawk missiles. Now, Tomahawk missiles may provide greater standoff depending on the type of strikes that you're talking about. But the fact is, you can produce those drones much more quickly and much cheaper than you can really, high-tech, long standoff missiles. And so you're seeing a change in the way that these types of operations are prosecuted with the types of weapons that they choose to employ. So we're going to see more of that. We're going to see more. In fact, Secretary Hegseth was just in my home state of Arkansas at one of the munitions plants there. We're starting to see more ramped up production of munitions here in the United States. That's important. And so we need to make sure that we're keeping pace, and that's what this Pentagon is trying to do. That's what this president is trying to do, is to make sure that we're prepared to defend ourselves all the time, anywhere. But you're just seeing a change in technology.
I don't know what to think, man. Look, I don't think we should go to war with China. Going to a war with Iran or China, I mean, it feels both. I'm glad we were able to at least sink Iran's navy. But of course, China needs Iran because that's where they get cheap oil from. So it's kind of huge, man. This is huge. Very huge. I don't know what to think, man.
And the value of these drones that have been used against us, but now we're sort of turning the tables on them.
Well, I mean, given the congressional fiscal year 27 budget hearings set to begin in earnest, I mean, is there a conversation about a defense supplemental right now? We know that the president wants a $1.5 trillion defense budget for 27.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a topic of conversation. But as it applies to this particular operation, they haven't come up with a dollar figure, because what they have to do is say, okay, let's look at what we're expending over this 48-hour period and kind of try to extrapolate that over what their projected timeline is, which they really, there's not a hard and fast rubric here that says it's going to be X. But you can look at what does it take to carry on an operation like this for a period of, let's say, 48 hours or a week or whatever, and probably extrapolate out on a weekly cost scale or a monthly cost scale or something like that to be able to provide some kind of number there. And that's what they're working out right now, because I do know that they are being very forthright with certainly with the Gang of Eight, and now later today the entire House. But the appropriators have that question, obviously, because they're the ones that are responsible for writing the checks. And so they're getting that information. It was a question that was brought up yesterday. They don't have the actual hard numbers yet, but they are going to make some projections and share that.
I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like if Biden or Obama were to do this, I think that they would have had immense Democrat support. Like, Biden and Obama could have used the exact same excuses that Trump used, and they would have got unanimous Democrat support, because Democrats, they don't really care about the message that's being said. All they care about is the messenger. In this instance, Trump could cure cancer, as a hypothetical, and they would find a way to say he's the devil, And look, I know, I get it. People aren't fans of Trump. I'm not like a devoted diehard. Everybody keeps saying that, it's like, but I really do. I like him. I don't think he's necessarily a bad guy. Everybody's like, oh, he's such a bad. No, he's not. I don't think he's that bad. I just don't. I don't think he's that bad. That's all. I mean, that's just the way I look at the world. I have a different point of view. I see the world through a very interesting lens. I'll admit that.
that with our appropriators.
And I know that when talking about Iran or perhaps Venezuela, you can talk about these cheaper versions. But when you're talking about our number one adversary, and that is China, does that create the need for those Tomahawks and much bigger arsenals that we're talking about? I mean, China's foreign minister told the Iranian counterpart, his Iranian counterpart, Beijing, quote, supports Tehran in defending itself against the strikes. China reportedly urging the United States and Israel to immediately cease military operations, avoid further escalation, and prevent the conflict from spreading. Chinese companies are still trading on U.S. exchanges, and I asked Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent about this. In fact, I ask anybody who will listen about this, why are we funding our number one adversary's plans for the military? Watch this. We've got Chinese stocks trading on you.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, here's the thing, man. How much do you want to bet that China is going to force some of these Chinese companies to not be traded on the U.S. stock exchange? I don't know the logistics of that. I don't know how that could even be implemented. But it makes you wonder, could that be implemented in some way, shape, or form, in some sort of capacity? It's a fair question. It is a fair question. And to answer it, I really don't know at the end of the day. But I can only really ask the questions. I mean, chat, if you guys want to chime in on that question, I don't know. Will China delist a lot of the companies that they have on the New York Stock Exchange? Or will these Chinese companies opt out of being traded on the New York Stock Exchange? And I don't even know how that would really work. That's why you never invest in one single region. I'm very diversified across the entire market scope internationally, within the U.S., that sort of thing. But yeah, the stock market's tanking. It's going down. It's not down permanently. Here's the thing. Valuable companies will always be valuable. Now, will there be destabilization for a while? Probably. Will this lead to a net positive? I don't know. The Iranian people do seem happy about this. But then again, I don't know. Time will tell. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good companies, man. A lot of good companies that you could purchase. One moment. I do like to be diversified, though. So I do have exposure to Chinese companies through a lot of ETFs that I have, but that's about it.
U.S. exchanges, U.S. investors are buying those stocks, and that's helping China fund its military. Let's face it. Are you willing to go that far to remove Chinese stocks from U.S. exchanges?
Well, Maria, I think everything's on the table.
I don't know. I think that sets an interesting precedent. I think removing... Look, if the companies are good... Like, it shouldn't matter whether they're in China or not. You know what I mean? And granted, I don't really know. Is it a good idea to do it? I'm not going to lie. I'm not too sure what the right answer would be.
We are putting in process export controls for high-value security-related goods. We are talking about the export capital controls in terms of, as you said, a blacklist of things that U.S. Whether pension funds, endowments, investors should not be investing in to fund the Chinese military machine. But that'll be President Trump's decision. President Trump, Chairman Xi have a very good personal relationship, and I am confident that this will be resolved at the highest level.
Mr. Chairman, what about that? I know.
Man, I don't know. I don't know anymore, man. It's wild.
You're urging the Treasury to block U.S. capital from fueling the Chinese military. What can you do about it?
Well, we're going to keep pushing that message. And here, quite frankly, you've probably heard me say this before. Heck, I've probably said it on your show. I've got a real problem with U.S. funding the Chinese Communist Party through these pension funds, retirement funds, and so on. In many cases, the American people don't even know that that's where their investment dollars are going. But that's, in fact, what's happening. And so what happens is everything that is in communist China is owned by the Communist Chinese Party. So these sort of benign, innocuous companies that you're investing in, you think that that is, a good return on your investment. What you're really doing is funding the Chinese Communist Party and every aspiration they have against the United States, whether that be military, political, geopolitical, industrial, economic, you name it. That's what they're about. And so I would really prefer that our American dollars, in whatever form, don't go to fund assets that are owned by the Chinese Communist Party and targeted against the United States.
Of course, and this is obvious. Also equally obvious to me was the fact that we were buying drones from China for so many years. And I know that we have now decided we're not going to buy from DJI, but Congressman, what about all of those drones right now in our arsenal that China made? Can't they see everything that's in that drone that we can see since they made the drone?
Well, there is the potential for that, and that is why I've been, for years,
Damn. Okay, that's a little sketchy. That's a little sketchy. Hoo boy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of being too buddy-buddy with China, I think China, look at, and the reason for that is I just think that our governments don't align. They're more along the lines of authoritarian communism in the China side, and, we're more on the individualistic scale. And I feel like collectivism and individualism, they don't exactly mesh very well. I don't believe collectivism implemented on the government level ever creates anything good. In fact, if anything, it just creates scarcity mindset and terrible things at the end of the day.
Very strong advocate for, decoupling from these Chinese-made products. For example, in the freight rail industry, I've worked really, really hard to address that issue in the freight rail industry, but the drone manufacturing has moved so fast. Heck, I've got companies in my district that were engaged in this 10 years ago, but they were outpaced by the Chinese. They wanted to be able to offer these products to American farmers, but they couldn't keep pace because the technology changed so quick, and they were outfunded. And they had to go a different direction with it. So now we're reliant on these Chinese drones. We can't continue with that type of footing.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit sketch, really. So we're reliant on drones from China for defense? That's I'm a little sketched out by that, dude. I'm excessively sketched out by that in many ways. Holy smokes, man.
Exactly. And John Ratcliffe, when he was DNI and also Congressman from Texas, told me very clearly the Chinese modus operandi.
Oh, here's a Trump announcement here. Let's
I do want to play
here.
that soundbite of President.
So real quick, we're gonna watch Trump. This was released like about an hour ago.
About his belief that Iran would attack first. There's been some back and forth on this. Were they going to attack Israel? Were they going to attack the United States or attack at all? Here's what the president said.
But I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked. They were getting ready to attack Israel. They were getting ready to attack others. We attacked first. And if we didn't, it could have been, look, we're really decimating them. They're being decimated. And if we didn't, and by the way, we have massive amounts of ammunition. We have the high end. A lot of it was given away stupidly by Biden, very stupidly, for free.
Oh, I forgot about that. Let's see here.
Marcus, and he also talked about gas prices, and he said that in the long run, he believes those will come down because of this attack, even though in the short run, you might see this increase.
Having anybody have a conversation around...
Look, I think it is going to be... Look, I think oil prices surging in the short term, I think, is inevitable, especially anytime that you have any sort of conflict with a Middle East country. Because obviously we know that's where a lot of these countries in the Middle East get their wealth from, is the high level of fossil fuels that can be extracted from each of those countries. But let's see. Yeah, silver went down like, God, it even went down, I think, as far down to 10% maybe today. I mean, I was able to buy silver SLV ETF. It's not endorsement or financial advice, nothing like that. But it's all just for educational entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. But yeah, I was able to buy SLV ETF as low as 73.82. So that would, I just buy like one share at a time. I don't go crazy with it. I do small trades with SLV. Just the volatility with silver is very nice. And yeah, I just don't have a lot of faith in the dollar. And the thing is, silver is one of those things that, well, the prices, the supply and demand for silver really does fluctuate quite a bit. I think that buying silver on the dip can be one of the smartest maneuvers that one can make, in my opinion. People may not agree with me on that, but what can you do? What can you do? Oh yeah. Thank you guys. If you guys can, though, don't forget to tap the subscribe button and tap the like button. The more likes we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. We're really trying to increase our footprint on YouTube. So more subscribers, more footprint. Yeah, you guys make it good, man. Give me a moment, you guys. Sorry about that. But thank you guys for tapping the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It really does help the channel in a lot of ways. We are a smaller channel. We're trying to reach 10,000 subs before the end of the month. I think we could do it. But we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can pull off, and we'll keep rolling.
The economy, when we're trying to save all of our lives from being wiped off the face of the earth, doesn't really matter to me right now. The oil prices are a function not just of the strait being closed, but it's a function of insurance being taken away and people having...
My boy E.T. says plug power has gone up bigly. Let me take a look. It's funny because I do own some plug power. I think I bought it at a low price too. Let me see, plug power. Yeah, that's right. I got plug power at really low prices. Holy shit. Oh, snap. It's up 28% on the day. That's crazy. It's another thing that's kind of wild is I had Chat GPT pick a bunch of penny stocks for me. That was actually one of them. So Pretty cool. It is interesting to see what ChatGPT selects. Because, yeah, the markets are really fluctuating quite a bit. Yeah, it looks like the markets are kind of restoring a little. I think there is going to be I call it quick panic, you know? People want to stay in the markets because here's the thing. I think the dollar, I actually have trouble with the dollar, you know? I have trouble with any currency. Yeah, it's hit or miss right now, yeah. So I don't know. I'm always wary of holding on to any currency, you know what I mean?
A lack of predictability. But if you watch the precision of dealing with Venezuela, drilling here in the United States, there was a lot of anticipation building to this moment. I don't think he woke up on Tuesday of last week and said it's time to go. I think he said the parts are in place. We're going to protect the American consumer. And a small little detail. For every $10 the barrel goes up in price, it cost Americans $300. If you told me it was going to cost me, and if I was struggling, $300 to prevent me from getting wiped off the face of the earth, I would do it. It's not an economic decision.
Indeed, no doubt about it. And he, interestingly, Harris pinpointed 2 points. He said, look, I think if Obama...
You know, and here's the thing. Like I said, I'm not a fan of war. I think war should be avoided at all costs. It really should. There's just no point in it, you know. And... yeah. So, I don't know. I just say avoid war.
Obama's deal had not been undone, Iran would have a nuclear weapon. And he said, it was fascinating to me to hear, if we had not done Operation Midnight Hammer, he said within a month, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon.
I think Marcus put it best, that the pieces were in place. And you'll notice this is one of those things that the president has been working on, and you know, because you were press secretary in his first term. He's been working on this. It's a long game with him. Mm-hmm. He does this just like others around the globe. Don't just look, you know, for the next 6 weeks, but he looks beyond that. He's looked beyond the 6 weeks he told us that this might happen, you know, that it might take that long, maybe a little longer, but he's looked long game all along. And it goes back to that deal that Obama had put in place and those pallets of cash and all the ways that we tried to spin the heads of the people who want us not to exist in Iran. But I thought it was fascinating. Early question was, did Israel force your hand, Mr. President? And he said, no, I might have forced their hand for the very reason that we just played, because he could see what was coming next and they were going to hit us.
Hey, everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-host Harris.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, boy. Crazy. It is absolutely wild to me. Give me one moment. Okay, so...
And despite Iran claiming it
Oh, Brian Kilmeade. Oh, God. All right. Let's keep watching.
had enough uranium for 11 nuclear bombs, Democratic senators insisting there was no danger.
The simple fact is there is no imminent threat.
There was no imminent threat to the United States of America.
I mean, there was to our military. I mean, because here's the thing, if Israel attacked Iran, Iran would automatically retaliate against the U.S. one way or another. They've said that supposedly, allegedly, on countless occasions. So, it's crazy. Crazy.
America by the Iranians.
Very soon, the Senate will vote on a bipartisan war powers resolution. Our resolution affirms what the Constitution already says. The president cannot send U.S. forces to fight a war in Iran without congressional approval.
No, it doesn't. Our next guest was in the Gang of Eight briefing yesterday. Senate Intel Committee Chair Tom Cotton. Senator, is your take the Senate same as Senator Warner and Senator Blumenthal and Senator Schumer? More questions than answers?
Brian, no, not at all. I thought Secretaries Rubio and Hegseth, Chairman Kaine, and Director Ratcliffe did a very good job of laying out the intelligence and the current state of operations. The simple reality is Iran has a vast missile arsenal that far exceeds the combined missile defenses of the United States, our Arab friends, and Israel. And it gets much worse every single month. That is an unacceptable risk for the United States. It's an existential risk for our Arab friends in Israel. And it wouldn't get better if we waited for 6 or 12 or 18 months to find a more imminent risk. In fact, Iran has posed an imminent risk to the United States for 47 years as they've maimed and killed thousands of Americans without that vast missile arsenal. The president was right to act when he did.
Senator.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. You know, Iran doesn't get talked about enough. And honestly, their regime is... Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Iran. I've never been a big fan of any of the Middle Eastern countries. Just haven't, you know. I think it's a cultural thing. I find their cultures to be oppressive to women, pretty regressive overall, and just not good, you know. So I don't know why people try to defend Iran. I don't get it. But I think there's a change happening in Iran, and I hope there is. I really do. But let's keep going, man.
You know that Blumenthal, who has a lot of foreign policy experience, Warner, a ton of foreign policy experience, and Schumer, they know the danger of Iran. They know it's persistent and an incessant danger of Iran. And that we could have hit any time in the last 15 years, but other presidents decided not to. Do you think they really don't understand the Iranian threat? I mean, how do they make those statements with a straight face?
Brian, I can't get inside any of my Democratic colleagues' heads. I just disagree with their view here. It's in keeping, though, with the Democratic Party's view of Iran going back decades. Look at Barack Obama's terrible nuclear deal that didn't block Iran's path to a nuclear weapon. It paved Iran's path to a nuclear weapon, while also doing nothing to address this second and urgent threat, their vast missile arsenal. That's why the president had to act when he did.
And by the way, when those Iranians stood up in the streets and asked for U.S. help, President Obama made amends with the government. He ignored those requests, and they got murdered in the streets. This president answered the call for a myriad of reasons. Senator, there's a story out there that the president was pushed into this battle by Benjamin Netanyahu. What's the truth?
I feel like it. I know Trump's going to deny this, but I do believe that Israel forced our hand a little bit on this. ultimately, I think Trump was probably on board regardless because Iran is, well, awful. And so, it makes perfect sense that we would... I don't know. It just makes perfect sense to me. But give me a few moments. Give me just another moment, though. I want to experiment a little bit. So we got a new poll up. Tap the subscribe button. Tap it with your tip. Tap it with your tip. Tap it with your tip. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button with your tip.
Well, first, Brian, no one pushes or drags Donald Trump anywhere. He acts in the vital national security interest of the United States. And second, Secretary Rubio addressed this point yesterday after our Gang of Eight briefing. Israel faced an existential risk, and they were prepared to strike Iran alone. If that happened,
oh yeah, the Dow took a major hit today. I mean, definitely went down. That's for sure. See, the Dow Jones though isn't diversified enough for me. It needs to be more diversified for me to ever really want it. But yeah, the market's definitely got whiplashed. That's for sure. I was able to buy silver for relatively cheap. And who knows, silver could go down even further. I mean, we'll see what happens there, but I am curious to see where silver goes. Will it go back up? Will it go down? Will it, do its thing?
Happened, Iran was very likely to target our troops. That may address the question of why now? Why not 2 weeks ago? Why not 2 months from now? The president, though, did not want to put our troops in harm's way. The more fundamental question, though, is why? Why did we have to carry out this operation against Iran? And as I said, that's because they have a vast missile arsenal that far exceeds our combined missile defenses, and it gets worse every single month. And that is an unacceptable threat to the United States.
So, Senators, people have to pick what they don't like about this mission. They could say that the president was pushed by Netanyahu. Well, the other story in the Washington Post...
And Travis, I ended up buying I bought silver, I wouldn't say super early, but I was able to get silver exposure at a good amount. And I definitely profited quite a bit from being exposed to silver overall, but through silver mining companies, gold mining companies, I think that's good to be exposed to gold and silver in some capacity, even if it's through companies like that. I love silver though, man. Silver's fantabulous because I love how volatile it is. So it makes it very easy to get in and get out when it comes to swing trading the spot price of it through the SLV. SLV ETF is my personal favorite because it's very easy to get in and get out because it's super highly liquid. So it makes life a little easier.
The New York Post on Saturday said that MBS, behind the scenes, Saudi Arabia's leader, he was saying you have to do this. This is a problem in this region. This has to be taken care of, and there was an urgency. So do people not acknowledging that there was our allies in the region also saw this as an issue?
Yeah, Israel's far from alone here. Our Arab friends have faced a serious threat from Iran for years as well, and it's no secret that most Arab leaders have been working closely with the United States and Israel to contain Iran, going back at least.
Well, yeah, because people are tired of being bullied by Iran. Really, that's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. Straight up. Tap it with your tip. Tap it with your tip. Tap it with your tip. Make sure you guys tap the like button, though, if you can. The more likes we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. It helps my pee-pee grow quite a bit. Something's been going on and I don't know what it is.
East to the Obama administration. And I would point out that as soon as Iran targeted these Arab countries, they didn't plead for peace. They didn't ask Donald Trump to stop. They asked Donald Trump for targeting information so they could join in the strikes in Iran. That's what a real coalition looks like. We're all now fighting together to try to finally eliminate the threat that a revolutionary Iran poses to the United States, to our Arab friends, and to Israel.
And I think the Chancellor of Germany is going to have the same message as our Gulf states. I think they've been the strongest out of the European partners. They're going to be in Washington today. Senator Tom Cotton, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So Trump threatens to cut off all trade with Spain. Okay, hold on. This is interesting. Let's see where this leads. We'll see where this leads. Don't know what's going to happen as the result. I'm really curious why he's cutting off trade with Spain. That's something I'm a little curious about.
What exactly was the imminent?
You've asked, so not your turn. Not your turn, please.
Mr. President, are you going to take the heat off the Europeans to potentially help you? Mark Rutte called on the allies to also help you.
What does that mean?
Well, you have to ask Mark Rutte. He said not as part of NATO, but to be helpful to you in this.
Well, some of the European nations have been helpful and some haven't. And I'm, very surprised. Germany's been great. He's been terrific. Others have been very good, terrific. I think that the head of NATO, Mark, is fantastic. Okay, Mark Rutte. I think he's fantastic. But some of the European, like Spain, has been terrible. In fact, I told Scott to cut off all dealings with Spain. Spain, first of all, it started when every European nation, at my request, paid 5%, which they should be doing. And everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody. And Spain didn't do it. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly, and so I told him we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have.
Yeah. Wow, dude. We're cutting off trade with Spain. Okay.
Great leadership, and.
So basically their leaders are giving Trump a hard time. Okay. Now, I see why Trump's upset. I get it.
As you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
Is the expectation for what's
and I'm not, by the way, I'm not happy with the UK either. That island that you read about, the lease, okay, he made it for whatever reason, he made a lease of the island. Somebody came and took it away from him. And it's taken 3-4 days for us to work out where we can land there. It would have been much more convenient landing there as opposed to flying many extra hours. So we are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
Wild, man. Dude, Trump is throwing shade all over the place, bro. Shade. Whoo. This is getting intense, you guys. This is getting real intense. Getting very intense. Throwing shade everywhere.
Expectations towards Germany. What can Germany do and what should Germany do to help you in this country?
Well, I think they're doing it. I mean, they're letting us land in certain areas, and we appreciate it. And they're just making it comfortable. We're not asking them to put boots on the ground or anything. I mean, we're just they're a respected country. I have a very good relationship with the country. We have, in particular, now with this new leader. I think he's an excellent leader.
Feline Gaming, what up? Yep, it's I could agree with that. Feline Gaming is saying it's us versus Islam. I mean, that's pretty much what it boils down to. And that's the thing, man. I'm not a fan of most religions, but he has betrayed everyone. Feline Gaiman is saying he's betrayed everyone for Islam. Really? What are you talking about, Feline Gaiman? You better be joking, bro.
I had my differences with Angela. I said, you're hurting your country with immigration and you're hurting your country with energy. And we have a man sitting on my right that is, I think, pretty much the opposite of her on energy and the opposite on immigration. And I think he's doing very well.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany.
I mean, it's interesting, man. It's very interesting. The tensions are getting high. The tensions are high. Let's see here. Give me one moment. Huh. Huh. See. Give me a moment, you guys. Well, I guess I'll look up stock market stuff. We'll see what's happening here. See what Yahoo Fi, that's a long one. I just want some clips. Tap it with your clip. Tap it with your clip. I want some clips. Tap it with your tip. Do you guys ever tap it with your tip? Do you guys ever tap the like button with your tip? Come on, you guys got to tap it with your tip. I know you guys do. Oh, God. Okay, this guy sucks, but...
It's a beautiful day today.
This guy really blows. It's the everything money guy. Oh, my God. Okay. We may end it on this note, but this guy really... Oh, no. Paul Gabriel. Strongman Personal Finance makes fun of this guy quite frequently. And it's hilarious. Give me a moment.
Today, why? Lots of red. Look at all that red, guys. NASDAQ is down 2.5%. You know, before the market opened, Tim, our
There's a lot of people freaking out. I mean, look, that's the best time to buy. Everybody's freaking out, but
producer, our CEO, he texted me and said, hey, big red day. I'm like, yeah, well, the NASDAQ was down 2% yesterday pre-market. It ended up. But today it's building on these losses. It got as far as 2.73% down. It's at 2.54 right now. Gold taking a big hit, down 4.5%, doing even worse than its fake friend, Bitcoin.
At least he acknowledges that Bitcoin's fake. I'm actually happy about that. I thought Paul Gabriel was going to be a Bitcoin shill. I don't watch enough of his shit to know like where he stands on Bitcoin. But at least he acknowledges that Bitcoin's fake as tits. I'll give him props. Now, we're critiquing Paul Gabriel. Let's see.
Russell 2000's down 3.5%, S&P 2.25%, Dow 2.4%. Big red day. Target reported. It's a company I own. Remember, don't ever buy a company because anybody in the world has it. We are here to teach a process. But before we get into Target and their earnings results, something I want to show you guys.
I'm not a fan of Target. Like, I'm not a big fan of retail stocks in general. The only ones I make exceptions for would be like Amazon and Walmart. Because I feel like they're just not going anywhere. They're just giants. Give me a second, you guys. Sorry about that.
This is an article from MarketWatch today. Among these components of the S&P 500, 95% of the stocks were down in early trading. 67 we're down at least 4%. That is a big chunk of money. In fact, let me pull up the heat map for the S&P 500 heat map. Let's pull this bad boy up. I want to show it to you guys because it's got a lot of red here. Wowza, look at that. Usually when this is all red here, there's a lot of green going on over here. Not much here. Costco's up. Verizon's up. T-Mobile's up. AT&T is up. A lot of red out there. Nvidia's down 4.5%, 2.5%. Microsoft about even. Apple about even. Interesting. Tesla's down 4%. Oh, software. Wow. They have Uber. Okay, gotcha. ADP. So got Adobe's up. Well, look at that. Adobe's up. Well, why? Because they're down 1 billion% in the last few years, so they're up right now. Guys, remember.
This guy, first off, I just want to give you guys a heads up. This is not a guy. I honestly think that Paul Gabriel is not somebody you should listen to regarding investing. I believe that. I don't think he's exactly a knowledgeable. Well, I think he's knowledgeable to some extent, but I also feel like he. I think he just. My analysis of him is he just seems more like a speculative trader, you know, and I really don't think he. I think he's a gambler. He just reminds me of a gambler. I'm not saying he is. He just, my analysis is he reminds me of one. Paul Gabriel reminds me of a gambler. Just saying. I know there's going to be people out there that aren't going to like that. They're like, hey, they're probably thinking I like Paul Gabriel. You know? Anyway, let's keep going.
We don't care what happens in the short run, but we love seeing red days because if you believe that the market was fairly priced yesterday.
Hey, look, I'm a big fan of red days too. I'll admit that. I'm very much a dip buyer. In fact, you know, I've got a lot of exposure to the markets, and let me just take a look here. Yeah, like, for instance, I got good exposure to VT. I've been buying silver on the dip. I was actually able to take advantage of silver at very low prices today, so that's kind of a plus. I don't know. I have a feeling that silver is going to go up, though. That's my opinion. It's not financial advice or anything. That's just my opinion. But I do feel like silver might be on its way back up, so I don't know, bro. I don't know. Tap it with your tip. Tim Smith is saying you should buy some STRC from Micro Wiener Strategy. It has 11.5% yield. Oh, God. I got to look this up. Oh, no. Oh, no, Tim. Let's see. What's it called again? So, STRC. Oh, God. Here we go. STRC. So this is Micro Wiener Strategy. So what does this do? Oh, God. This is... Oh, no. Let's take a look here. Oh, Tim Smith says it's one of his preferred shares. Oh, Michael Saylor. Okay, so let's see. STRC, short duration, high yield credit. Everything about this seems scammy as fuck. Oh. Everything Michael Saylor does pisses me off. Tim Smith says it's basically guaranteed. It's like a money market account, but it pays way more. See, what scares me, Tim, what scares me about this is where is Michael isn't Michael Saylor basically diluting his own shareholders, though, off common strategy stock to basically fund this particular... So to fund STRC, by the way, this has to be a Ponzi scheme. To fund STRC, if I remember correctly, Michael Saylor is essentially issuing more shares of strategy, which dilutes the normal strategy shareholders and screws them over. And then what he does from the sale of issuing new strategy stock, he then pays the dividend for STRC. So Stretch STRC is Strategy's perpetual preferred stock that currently pays 11.5% annual dividends, payable monthly in cash. STRC's dividend rate is adjusted monthly to encourage trading around STRC's $100 par value and to help strip away price volatility. What? Listed on that. This is ridiculous. Tim Smith says, yeah, but they have enough Bitcoin to pay STRC for yeah, but here's the thing, Tim. What if Bitcoin goes to zero? Which, by the way, I think Bitcoin's more likely to go to zero than to go to 1 million. Just because of the lack of intrinsic value. So you could have all the Bitcoin in the world, but if Bitcoin's intrinsic value is zero and it eventually goes to zero, I don't know. I think Michael Saylor's digging himself a hole. I mean, I'll buy a share of it. Why not? Well, I don't know. I don't trust. I guess the thing is I don't trust Michael Saylor. That's kind of one of my big things. My lack of trust in Michael. If anybody else trusts Michael Saylor, okay. But my lack of trust in Michael Saylor, because he basically turned his own company into a Ponzi scheme. By the way, Tim, it's good to see you, brother. Sorry I haven't been streaming a lot lately, man. I've been feeling pretty under the weather, but I feel better now. And I just hope you're doing well too, man. And I just hope everybody's doing well. I'm just happy to feel better and, honestly thankful to be able to still do this show, But tap it with your tip. Let's see. Is it safe? So I'm asking Google, STRC, is it safe? Strategies Stretch preferred ST is a high yield 9 to 11%. Bitcoin-backed preferred stock designed for price stability near $100. But it is not considered safe like a savings account or treasury bond. It carries risks related to Bitcoin volatility, leverage, and sustainability of dividends, making it a high-risk income investment, not a cash equivalent. Let's see, asset backing STRC is backed by Bitcoin with 5x collateral, aiming to protect investors from forced redemptions and maintain a $100 price, though it can dip to $95, $98 during major downturns. Risk factors. The primary risks include potential underperformance of Bitcoin, the use of leverage by strategy, and the, at times, unconventional use of new share sales to fund dividends. That's that right there is my biggest problem with it, mainly. And yeah, I hate to shit on it, but that really is my biggest problem overall with it. While performance is well designed to be low volatility, its performance during a severe long-term cryptocurrency market crash is unproven. Exactly. Let's see, STRC pays monthly distributions with a variable rate that adjusts based on market conditions, recently increasing to... okay. Interesting. I don't know, man. I like the fact that the yields are high. My problem is I have no faith in Bitcoin, and that's the thing. Bitcoin backs this entire company, and my faith in Bitcoin is so low that I feel like I don't know what the sustainability, and I could be wrong. Look up its tax-deferred status. Interesting. Let's see. Is it tax-deferred? By the way, none of this is tax advice. So it's saying, yes, strategies STRC, formerly MicroStrategy. Preferred stock is designed to be tax deferred for U.S. investors as its high yield monthly dividends. Let's see. High yield monthly dividends are generally classified as non-taxable return of capital rather than ordinary income. These payments reduce your cost basis, meaning taxes are deferred until you sell or your basis hits zero. Interesting. That's tempting. I'll admit that's tempting. But I still feel like it's an elaborate trap by Michael Saylor. You know what I mean? Like I said, my general disdain and mistrust for Michael Saylor prevents me from wanting to get into it. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's tax deferred, I just... I'll just say this. I don't trust any company that's founded upon a Ponzi, you know what I mean? I am probably going to end the stream here in just a little bit. But we'll react to the rest of this.
You should love it
here.
even more today. Do we believe the market was fairly priced yesterday? Well, if you saw our Plus channel video yesterday, you realize we don't think so. Let's pull up Target, because my understanding is it is up today. And I didn't even, oh my God, I didn't even realize.
Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the Michael Garza Show. Look, by the way, I know that if you guys are just joining in, we do not endorse everything money. In fact, I don't think that this guy is a great investor. I really don't. I am not a fan of Paul Gabriel, but it is interesting to hear different viewpoints. Yeah, I when it depends on what you're buying the dip on. So, for example, silver dipped pretty hard today. So, I bought a little bit of the dip on the silver for sure. I thought that was a smart idea. So I'm always happy to buy silver on the dip and stuff like that. But yeah, silver can crash very, very hard, and which is honestly kind of the appeal to silver in my mind. Okay. Tim Smith says that guy looks like Temu Gary V. So we are going to cut the stream a little bit short today because I am going to head out here in just a few. But, I do want to react a little more to this guy. I'm not going to react to the full video. But everything money, man. This guy is everything wrong with YouTube money.
It's $117. Guys, it was as low as $82 just a few months ago, back in November. They reported. Let's see what they reported. Let's see here. Let's go to Tim's text to me. Nope, I'm going to scroll past that picture.
Oh, I think he said I think Paul Gabriel said that Tim is texting him. Tim Smith has been working with Paul Gabriel this entire time. OMG. Okay, let's keep watching.
We'll look at that later, Tim. Revenue.
God damn it, Tim is hanging out in Paul Gabriel's phone, dude.
Missed. 30.45 billion was reported on guidance on 30.49 billion estimated. Earnings per share crushed though, beat by 13%, $2.44 versus $2.16. But these are estimates versus, I want to see how they did versus last year. So this is Q4 2025, 30.45 billion. Q4. Oh, so revenue's down. Q4 last year, they did 30.92 billion. They did.
Look, I don't have a lot of faith in Target, man. I think that the problem is, I think people are choosing probably Walmart over Target. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's analyzing Target stock, but Tim Smith has tired Paul Gabriel's phone, wired Paul Gabriel's mom. Oh, man.
30.45 billion here. So revenue's down. They're still struggling here, guys. Still a business that's struggling. On an annual basis, yeah, look, I mean, they hit a high of 109 billion here in 2023 and are just declining here. Is this a dying business? I don't know.
Sure. I just don't have a lot of faith in Target. I think Target's still going to be a brand for a while. But I do think that they're going to have revenue issues because there's a lot more competition in the retail space than I think people realize. And I think Walmart dominates. And also another factor is people do a lot of online shopping, but I don't think a lot of people are shopping online through Target.com. I just don't think they are.
It seems like it is. The question is, even if it's dying, is it still worth it? So let's go to our analyst estimates here. Well, analysts seem to think that revenue is going to...
Well, I remember when I was working at JCPenney, for example. I know JCPenney's far different than Target, but, a lot of people thought, oh, JCPenney's a staple. There's no way they would ever really go bankrupt, even though Amazon, you could argue that sites like, online shopping killed JCPenney, like, because Amazon, and other websites like it did it better. I felt like JCPenney's online presence was there, but nobody really wanted to order clothes online from JCPenney. They'd rather order them from Amazon, And I get it. Like, I absolutely get it. And I think a lot of people at the end of the day, because there's so many different retailers out there, places like JCPenney or Target or even Kohl's get kind of lost in the weeds. People still go to them, but the foot traffic, I think, is declining to a lot of these places. I really believe that. It's unfortunate for sure, but
earnings per share are going to keep increasing. I know women, they still love Target. You still see Instagram, they still go on Target. Target makes it very easy to buy online, pick up the store, get delivered. So there's still some positives there for Target. And look at this revenue growth. Still not huge, but still revenue growth. That's what I expected, a little bit higher than this. I expected 4 or 5% when you include new stores being developed as well as inflation jumping up these revenue numbers. So it's kind of interesting here. Let's do our stock analyzer. Let's go to Target. Retail, Walmart has been killing it on the retail front. This is why I kind of consider Target to be kind of a premium to Walmart and kind of evidence that maybe, just maybe, there's some weakness in consumer spending. Target would be a recipient of that weakness. So guys, I did 10-year analysis. I did 2, 3, and 4% revenue growth. I did profit margin of 3, 4, and 5%. Same with free cash flow. PE, 17, 20, and 23. I'm looking at going, it's a good business, I think. People still like it. People still go there. And my 9% return, the stock's at 170.
I don't know. I just don't feel like Target's like, I think Target as a company is still going to grow in value over time, but I don't know. I'd feel more comfortable holding on to Walmart stock, quite frankly. If I had to choose between one or the other, I'd be more than happy to hold on to Walmart stock than hold. Actually, how much is Target right now? Let me take a look. If Target's at the appropriate price, Target. It's too high for my blood. Too high for my blood. Okay, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. I want to thank you guys. I do got to go. I got some things I got to take care of, people I got to spend time with, my girlfriend and stuff like that. I got to see how she's doing, and I miss her, so I spend a little time with her. But no, I want to say I love you guys. Thanks you guys for being an incredible, not only just audience, but just you guys have been, especially guys like Tim Smith and the crew. You guys have been incredible. And so I want to thank everybody who's been a part of this show. You guys keep the show rolling. You guys keep the show running. And we're almost to 10,000 subs. That's like the one thing that I can't believe. We're almost to 10,000 subscribers. We're currently sitting at 8,548 subscribers. Once again, we're at 8,548 subs. So if you guys can, tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It really does help the channel grow. If you guys love Trump as much as I do, please tap the subscribe button. Try not to tap it with your tip. Try not to tap it with your tip. Don't tap it with your tip. Try to avoid tapping with your tip. Tapping with your tip. Try to avoid tapping with your tip. Tapping with your tip. Everybody trying to tap it with your tip. Why are you trying to tap it with your tip? I don't really know what everybody's doing now, but everybody trying to tap it with their tip. Tap it with your tip. Tap it with your tip. Everybody trying to tap it with your tip. Anyway. Give me one moment, though. Thank you guys for liking the stream. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. So once again, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. And then not only that, you guys are incredible. You guys make the show go round and round and round. Where's the love? It's not enough. It makes the world go round and round and round. Hey, you guys don't forget to tap the subscribe button. Let's go. I'm going to end the stream in 3, 2, 1, 0. Don't forget to subscribe. We're ending the stream right now.